Hello, I'm Skid and welcome to episode 2 of my Elden Ring playthrough, now with less menus and tutorials. Hopefully. Maybe. Anyway, we can't get through that, so we're going this way. Our death count stands at 0? Question mark? I see pots. I see breakable things. We're still not 100% sure that we're not counting that first kind of good to see the physics is working as intended as always. We're still not 100% sure we are not counting that first death. Principally because it didn't tell us you died and we never saw our character fall. Plus, I think you're kind of meant to die there, and unless you are like the best or one of the best Dark Souls players, likelihood is you're going to die there on your first try. Hey, welcome to the open world where our frame rate has immediately dropped. Limgrave. Frame rate has dropped quite severely, so tweaks must be made. Frame rate must stay above 60. So let's doop. Well, there's no medium option for those? I assume if I turn this off I'll get a whole bunch. Actually, no, that made zero difference whatsoever. Still 47 frames per second. Textures, nope. We bring everything down to medium, still. Okay, this needs a little bit more examination. And of course I failed to close that down, which means that I need to restart it to get it to work. Still 40? I wish they wouldn't cycle. Yeah, it does say my GPU is using its maximum, but like the difference between having everything low and everything up is 2 frames per second. Which basically means there's no kind of optimization whatsoever. Because we're 50, 49. If we bring these all up. And that's 45. So the difference between low and maximum, or low and high, is 5 frames per second. Well, we'll have to make do for this episode. I will have to try and figure out why that is so horrendously low. Let's turn anti-aliasing off. Gets us a few frames per second back. Having the menu open probably doesn't help because menus tend to eat a lot. There's no level of detail, I don't think. Maybe that's the problem. Just too much on the screen. I saw the thing, I'm just poking my nose around. You look like you're fairly big. There's a couple of you. Let's go to where it wants us to go. Use your map to check your current position as well as the terrain and surrounding structures. You can update your map with new information by finding map fragments at Stellas along the road. You can also use the map to freely place beacons of light and serve as landmarks as you explore. With the map menu, you can check your current position and terrain, terrain and buildings in the surrounding area. You can also freely place beacons of light to serve as landmarks as you explore. Lastly, through your map, you can select any site of grace that you've discovered and travel there instantaneously. However, there are some dungeons and other areas where this cannot be done. So these are the 2 beacons of light we have. I assume that's us, and maybe that sign is the vendor. Markers. It's markers we can place. Help. What I was hoping for is what I was hoping for is an index, like, this is what this icon means. Apparently that is not a thing.
Oh yes. Tarnished, are we? Come to the lands between for the Elden Ring? Of course you have. No shame in it. Unfortunately for you, however, you are maidenless. Without guidance, without the strength of runes, and without an invitation to the Round Table Hold, you are fated, it seems, to die in obscurity. Luckily for you, however, there is one shining ray of hope for even the maidenless. Me. Vare. Take care to listen. Are you familiar with grace? The golden light that gives life to you tarnished. You may also behold its golden rays, pointing in a particular direction at times. That is the guidance of grace, a path that a tarnished must travel. Indeed. Grace's guidance holds the answers. It will lead you tarnished to the path you are meant to follow, even if it leads you to your grave. Grace's guidance will reveal the path forward, most certainly. To Castle Stormvale, over on the cliff, the home of the decrepit demigod, Godric the Grafted. It's time you set off, I should think, to Castle Stormvale on the cliff, where Grace would guide you, if you seek the Elden Ring, maidenless as you are.
One second. I'm just going to take this out of full screen mode. Put it back in borderless windowed. I doubt it's going to help. It has not. Still 50 frames per second, still using the entirety of my GPU, irrespective. Okay, so it wants me to go over there. The guidance of grace is apparently telling me to go there. Oh look. Grace exists to guide the tarnish and lead them along the proper path. Even now, some sites of grace retain and that power. Their golden rays will guide you along your way. We still can't level up though. This is leading me to that cathedral over there. I am fairly sure I do not want to tangle with that thing. So let's not. What is this? In each area you may find effigies of martyrs. These effigies are summoning pools. You'll find it easy to summon other players at these locations, as co-op and hostile summoning signs created with small effigies gathered at summoning pools. Small glowing effigy. Okay. That reminded me of something else that I wanted to check up. Send a co-op sign to a summoning pool. There we go. Contents required for crafting cracked pot items. Shall we go die to a goat? Can we collect anything from the goat? I was hoping for meats or something. Apparently not. There's a lot of berries around. We haven't unlocked crafting yet. Good lord. It dropped down to 30 frames per second there for no good reason. Ruin fragment. Whoops. If it glows, we grab it. Again, random skull. That one isn't glowing though. No, I think that's just another random skull. I assume these flowers can't be picked up? Nope, they're just decoration. At a smithing table, you can spend runes and smithing stones to strengthen your armaments. Somewhere in the land between, you may meet a blacksmith who can make your armaments even stronger. Strengthen armaments, which I don't think we have the materials for, but let's just look at the menu anyway. With the smithing menu, you can spend runes and smithing stones to strengthen your armaments. You can strengthen your armaments up to +3 at smithing tables. Somewhere in the land between, to meet a blacksmith that will make them stronger. Oh yeah, runes is the currency, isn't it? But we don't have any smithing stones. Not that we would actually want to upgrade the club. Through your map, you can travel instantly to any site of Gracie that you've discovered. However, there are some dungeons and other areas where this cannot be done. You already told me this. Okay, we'll go that way in a second. Good lord, it's 40 frames per second now.
You're tarnished. I can see it. And I can also see that you're not after my throat. Then why not purchase a little something? I am Elleh, purveyor of fine goods. I am of a nomadic people, selling wares as I travel. The land has been tainted by madness since the shattering of the Elden Ring. It's only tarnished like yourself, who keep things from drying up entirely. Let's say you're a very welcome customer.
Ooh, and we can sell as well. With the shop menu, you can spend runes to purchase various items. You can also sell items for runes. Each merchant stocks a different variety of items for purchase. So what do we have here? So there's some cracked pots, so we can buy some more of them. Reveals co-op and hostile summoning signs. Interesting. If I die, do I lose my fingers? Enables the practice of item crafting. I assume that just means enables item crafting. The fact that it's a purchasable item, though, rather than the game just gives you it, seems weird. Don't get me wrong, I'm going to buy it. Nomadic Warrior Cookbook. Expands crafting repertoire. We only really have enough for this, and then maybe a torch. Note, flask on wondrous physics. Note, imparting knowledge in brief. Waypoint runes. I mean, it does send us here first. It would seem weird that it... Nah, if crafting is supposed to be a thing, a legitimate thing, the game would just give us a crafting kit, or would let us find it. Admittedly, it's like, while this is expensive at the minute, given how many runes I have at the minute, it's not going to be in the long run. Let's ask for recommendations and see if it tells me, buy the crafting kits.
You know, if you can spare the runes, you should buy yourself a crafting kit. A crafting kit allows you to make basic items on your own. Essential, really, if you intend to survive out here for any duration. The kit costs a bundle, and I admit I do take my cut. But the important thing is that you survive. Every customer counts, after all.
Okay, so the fact it's advising me to buy it indicates it's probably not going to give me one. And then torch.
I'm glad you took my warning to heart. You've made an excellent choice.
If you have a crafting kit, you can make various items from materials you find. Select item crafting from the main menu to make items. You can learn to craft more by finding cookbooks, or buying them, which we don't have the resources for. You will need cracked pots or other containers to craft certain items. You will not be able to make more of those items than you have containers. Container items will run out with use, but the containers themselves will remain. So that's why the cracked pots are useful, because it gives me an immediate ability to craft things that I'm going to assume like firebombs. With the item crafting menu, you can make various items from materials you find. You can learn to craft more items by finding cookbooks. So, fire pot. Bone darts. On horseback, feed to Torrent to restore HP. We don't have access to Torrent yet, although we do know who Torrent is. Rainbow stones, entirely useless. Shines with a colour when placed, serves as a guide. So we actually can't craft anything yet. We don't have the resources. Okay, so you say go that away. Game says 40 frames per second. I'm sure that guy's going to attack me. I don't want to be anywhere near him until I actually have some sort of armor and a horse. Hey, mushrooms. At least now we know what they're looking for. Ah, this is why it's sending us this way. This is kind of a semi-unguided way to introduce us to crafting. It's already kind of taught us how to gather. So basically, it's sending us this way to say, hey, look, resources. Okay, I see 2 separate guards. I'm going to bet those things are potentially hostile. That thing is probably not. I mean, a blunt weapon would probably do well against it. I can't be afraid of attacking everything, it's just I don't see a reason to attack it yet. But we are going to need resources one way or another. Yeah, those things don't look friendly. Is it following me? No, it's just got agitated. So I don't necessarily think that's hostile immediately. That will probably respond if we attack it, though. We have deer. Let's try and kill a deer. Oh. I was going to say let's try and kill a deer, but that's a little easier said than done when there are knights around. Those knights have already automatically attacked us, so... The game wanted us to go this way. I don't think we're going to be able to get away with not attacking something. I'd at least like confirmation that these guys are going to attack me first. I'm not a murder hobo type. Let's see if we can... Hey, there we go, bones. Was that enough bones? No, there's 1 bone. Let's get that guy's attention. Let's actually make sure we are ready for combat. I do apologise for the frame rate and stuttering. I will fix it between this episode and next. Excuse me, sir. Good sir with the sword and the torch. I guarantee he's going to attack me. I pretty much know it because we already know that, or we've already had something similar to it attack us already. There we go. Now, has he summoned his others? I was trying to last minute defend. What I shouldn't have done is blocked the heavy attack. Okay, so yeah, now we know these will attack us on sight. I have no issue sneaking up and smacking them in the back. I mean, just because we're dead doesn't mean we can't be civilized. Let's clear the entire area, so let's get all the ones we can see. Good lord, this frame rate is stuttering. Now I see why people were complaining. This is quite bad. I see shiny poop. Oh, boar might attack me on sight. I'll have to be careful of that. Not enough. Figured you probably would. I rolled. I disagree. And also didn't drop anything. What a waste of time. I'm seeing shiny things everywhere and now I'm collecting all the shiny things. If I don't use them, however, what's the point? I hear something that sounds like a crystal lizard. This is a bad idea, isn't it? Are you alive? Are you an equivalent or the equivalent of a crystal lizard? I think he must be. If this doesn't count as tall brush, I will be very upset. I dare not get closer while he's looking directly this way. Is he going to stop looking directly this way? Doesn't look like it. Okay, we'll go around. Mushrooms. Wrong button. We have armor! We finally have something we can put on. Quick, let's get equip it. This was one of the reasons I wanted to kill them. Glowy skull. I don't trust the glowy skull. Why would you trust a glowy skull? It's another glowy skull. They're designed to trick me. Sure of it. We should equip the kunai. Because we don't have a ranged option at the minute. Kunai would go in here, wouldn't they? Two more pieces of armor, and we'll have a full set. You're going to turn around before I get to you, aren't you? Called it. Okay, so that was over there. It was telling us to come this way. I think it was just telling us to head towards maybe that route, these ruins over here. Hey, boar. You don't see me. Revenge. For your other boar that we encountered. Again, I do apologise for the frame rate. There wasn't much I could do about that without knowing specifically when we was going to end up outside. So I will fix it between this episode and next. At least that will be the plan. Let's get up on top of here. I think it is it was sending me in this direction. I don't think it was sending me towards the cave. Thank you. Whoever or whatever did that. Smouldering butterflies. Often carried by demi-humans. Let's see. Simple view, scroll, help. I kind of want it to... I want to get item information out of this. I want to know where these drop from. I want to know if that kind of information is in here. But I don't think help is going to do it. Okay, there's 3 of those. I don't really want to be trying to take on 3 at once. I see something glowing over there that could be a site of grace. I think these things are just... Oh, it's an effigy. Co-op some insight. Yeah, there's a side of grace over there. I would like the ability to level up. That's kind of why I'm just not wanting to explore at the minute. I'm following the path it's telling me to. I don't think they come this far over. Is that a dead wolf or a sleeping wolf? I think we're far enough out of their range that they're not going to aggro me, but let's just be safe. Dead wolf. I mean, something killed it. Wants me to go that way.
I offer you an accord.
I wonder if that would have happened at any...
Have you heard of the Finger Maidens? They serve the Two Fingers, offering guidance and aid to the Tarnished. But you, I am afraid, are maidenless. I can play the role of maiden, turning runes into strength to aid you in your search for the Elden Ring. You need only take me with you to the foot of the Erd Tree.
I wonder what happens if you refuse. Do you have to play the entire game without the ability to level up?
Then summon me by grace to turn runes into strength. Ah, another matter. I bequeath to you this ring.
Spectral steel whistle. Ah, this will be the mount. Yeah, so what I was going to say before I accidentally interrupted her was I wonder if whichever is the first site of grace you rest at, that is the location she appears. So is the fact that I've basically gone past 2 sites of grace and not rested at them because I didn't need to.
Use it to traverse great distances. It will summon a spectral steed named Torrent. Torrent has chosen you. Treat him with respect.
Past time up. Level up! We can finally level up.
Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment. Share them with me. Your
With the
thoughts, your ambitions, the principles you would follow.
With the level up menu, you can spend runes to increase your attributes. With each attribute increase, your level raises by 1. As your level raises, so does the amount of runes required for your next attribute increase. So one reason to go with Wretch is you start at level 1, which actually gives you a decent amount of stats, but it also means that your rune, I'm assuming it's the same as previous games, your rune level ups are cheaper, or at least start cheaper. They're going to get to the same price as everyone else or the other classes eventually, but I think, yeah, you do kind of start with more stats than you otherwise would, theoretically, if you include levels in that. So yeah, we only have one armament. We've not found a sword yet. Certainly not found a dex-based sword. Physical slashing, poise, discovery? We need information. Equipment load. The maximum weight of equipable armaments and armor. Movement is slowed as load increases. Increase this number to exceed this number, and movement is slowed dramatically. The degree to which you can resist collapse under enemy attack governs the likelihood of finding items on corpses. Magic, fire, lightning, and holy. Interesting. So they've replaced Hex with lightning. Attribute governing discovery also affects holy defense, vitality, and certain sorceries and incantations. Attributes required to perform sacred incantations. Certain sorceries and incantations, yeah. So Arcane is going to be a mix of both. Faith is for incantations, which are not strictly speaking your healer stuff, but that's where you're going to get lightning and holy magic from, I imagine. Also boosts the power of intelligence gains sorceries and improves magic resistance. That should be required to perform glintstone sorceries. So that will be magic and fire. Again, as a guess. Attribute required to wield advanced armaments. Also boosts attack power of dexterity scaling armaments. Reduces cast time of spells. Softens fall damage. This is why I want to go dex mage rather than strength mage. Because obviously being able to cast fast makes it more useful in battle. Softens falls, makes it harder to be knocked off your horse. That's also useful. Required to wield heavy armaments, also boosts attack power, strength scaling armaments, and affects your physical defense. Mind. FP also affects focus. Focus? Focus. Your resistance to sleep and bouts of madness. A higher number lowers your susceptibility, governed by your attributes as well as defensive gear. Robustness. Your resistance to blood loss and frostbite. Your resistance to various poisons and rots. Your resistance to death. The higher the number, the lower your susceptibility to instant death. Governed by your attributes. Instant death. I don't like the sound of that. We'll save the runes for now, just because we haven't found a weapon or a dex-based weapon. We haven't found a weapon, period. We haven't found a weapon or any kind of sorceries yet. Use your spectral horse, whistle to summon your ride. If your spectral steed dies, you can summon it again, but it will cost 1 flask of crimson tears to do so. You can dismount using the whistle or by pressing control. So that's where I thought it was probably going to put it. I may want to change these numbers. I'm not sure yet. It depends on which one is which. But yeah, let us equip this. So that should be 1, that's 2. Which is right. 3 is left, 4 is down. Let's tweak them around so that they are 1, 2, 3, 4. So right wants to be 2. Yes, I know. Left wants to be 3. That wants to be 4. That should make it 1, 2, 3, 4. We can confirm this by putting this in here. In which case, should be that and 2. Hello, Torrent. Well, before the performance gets any worse, we are 45 minutes in. We could keep going. We could go back and get our ass handed to us by that golden rider, even though we still don't have a full set of armor yet. What's our equipment load at currently? We are still light load. We actually now have some amount of defense, which is nice. Something we didn't have before. We still don't have a full set of defense. Yeah, no. We'll end it there for today, principally just because, yeah. It's 40 frames per second. I don't like that. I want it to be at least 60 frames per second, so we're going to have to try and figure out a way between this episode and next to get it to 60 more consistently. At the minute, it's just hammering my GPU, but there's, as I showed you earlier, if I change all the settings down to low, it makes bugger all difference. So we're 40 frames per second now. We'll do it again. If we come in here, we change this all the way down to low settings. 42 frames per second. 42, 44. Going from high to low has gained us 4 frames per second. That is fucking ridiculous. That is terrible optimization. What if I put it on maximum? If we put it on maximum, we lose 5 frames per second. We're now at 45 frames per second. So yeah, we'll figure out something between this episode and next. We'll see if we can't get the frame rate up. Turn depth of field off because it's a terrible effect. Turn motion blur off. Turn shadows down. Turn anti-aliasing off. Put it back to where it was. But anyway, oh, apparently we can't emote while mounted. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. I'll fix this, or I will attempt to fix this frame rate issue between this episode and next. And hopefully, I'll see you next time. Cheerio.